All right, so we're going to go into working with a pregnant body. I've been talking all day about the fact that I have all these little videos about babies that I want to show you. Because we had extra babies today, we took up a little extra time. So I'm going to move those to next week, tomorrow. I'm going to move them to tomorrow. So don't panic. We're going to finish up with pregnancy. And then I do have some work on charity that I do want to share with you. And I will let you know, somebody handed out tissue already. So I wanted to give you a strong message today. And so I want you all to be prepared for this. My goal is not to bring anyone down. It's actually to bring you up, to be very honest with you. But it is an emotional journey, so I do want you to be prepared for that. And I want to close today with that little piece on charity. Every show I've ever done, I always close the show with charity. It's important to understand that the foundation of my company is built on a charitable principle. So we're going to leave the little heavier message today, because then that way tomorrow we'll keep it nice and chipper and happy. But to me, the entire reason that I'm here for this 3 days is the message that I will give you after this segment, so be prepared. All right, but before we get there, let's talk about working with a pregnant body, because we had the experience today of having a pregnant woman come in. So the third style that we were talking about were nudes. Remember, we talked about traditional and we talked about fabric wraps. The third would be nudes. Now, nudes can be a lot of fun. We always say big fun because you're dealing with a lot of body, and obviously proportionally it can get a little interesting. So big is definitely the key word. Now, there's a comfort zone for both the client and the photographer there. If you don't feel comfortable shooting nudes, then don't accept jobs where you're photographing nudes, period. If a client does not want to photograph a nude, they're not going to ask you probably to do it. It's okay to ask them if they're interested, and that's why we do these 3 slideshows for our clients. We actually have slideshows put to music and we show them, but I always tell the client before we show them the slideshow what they're going to see. And I always preface it by saying, the next slideshow is our nude series. Do you have any interest in doing a nude series in your pregnancy? And if they look at me and say, oh, absolutely not, no way, we say, you know what, then let's not even look at the slideshow. There's no reason to do that. There could be 2 reasons. Number 1, they're not interested because their body's not in the right condition they feel. Number 2, it could be something that's it's an issue, personal issue to them, a moral issue, whatever it is. I don't want to offend anyone or make them watch something that they may consider not appropriate. So if they decline in that state, now if they're on the fence, if I can see they're like, oh, I don't know, my arms are kind of heavy, I'm not really, then I could say, you know what? I give you my word, you're going to love what I do, or you're not going to see it. I will never let you see something that I don't think is absolutely beautiful. And trust me, I've been looking at images for 25 years. You're going to be beautiful. So if I'm telling you you would look beautiful as a nude, I give you my word, we'll take care of you. If you're not comfortable, that's fine too. And I let them make the decision at that point as well. Not everybody's going to want a picture like this. It's something that, when somebody requests it, finding placement to put the body, you got to have somewhere to go. In a situation like this, we're just playing around doing some artistic nudes. She's not going to make a 7-inch portrait of that, I promise you. That doesn't mean I haven't done that before. The most frightening picture I've ever done in my entire life was a 60-inch 3/4 nude pregnancy with her arms up this way. So 3/4 here and here. I just would like you to know that at 60 inches, that was 5 times life size. So it was actually terrifying when we took it out of you can imagine. I still have nightmares about that. She was putting it in a private dressing room in her home. I just wonder what that child must feel like every time she has to walk into that. But it's something that it is possible. I mean, as an artistic nude, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying that it's wrong. It's just that standard portrait rule, just so you know, this is kind of a little tip out there. In a wall portrait, the subject's face should be no bigger than the face of a clock, or I say your hand. So that goes for everything, right? No bigger than the face of the clock or your hands. Anything bigger than that is very frightening, so keep that in mind. An image like this, when we're working with nudes, the truth is I didn't just lay her on the floor and put a light on her and say, and I'm going to stand up and walk for this one, but I didn't just put her down, lay on the floor and say, click, got the shot. I'm not an overshooter, ever. I tell people all the time not to be an overshooter. Think about what you're doing. Do not push that shutter unless you really mean it. You saw me do that today. You saw me literally watching a baby's expression going, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and bam, nailed that shot. You will never see me do this, ever. That comes from film days. But with Pregnancy, it's a little different because with this, you know, I laid her body out and lit her, and then I literally go bam, 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 skip that, skip that, skip that, bam, bam. And I will circle a body until I find the right light because every body is different and every body handles their weight differently. Some women are way out here, some women carry this way, some women get very chesty, some women get very heavy in the arms. And so every single pregnancy is a unique session. Now, angles are very important, and I'm going to bring myself up so I can see. Angles are very important because this is how we can slim the subject's body, depending on who she is. Now, in this case, this woman here came in. This is a very popular shot. We shoot this all the time. She came in, she had perfect everything, perfect arms, perfect body, perfect size. Her proportions were perfect, so it was just a matter of those butterfly fingers we kind of showed you today, the very light, soft fingers. We laid her. She is just laying flat on the floor with a few pillows, and she has sheets and fabric wrapped all over her. So in a case like this, it's super easy. Her care and comfort is, of course, of most importance. It's easy to get a pregnant woman down, not as easy necessarily to get them all up. So don't just say lay down, because it's not as easy as you think if you haven't done it before. And when they're getting up, it is very hard. When you're pregnant, your body literally goes numb. Your legs go out on you. You lose feeling in your legs very quickly. So getting down sometimes is easy. Sometimes getting up can be very hard. So be courteous. Make sure you ask them, are you okay? Can I help you? Let me help you up. Just don't even give them choices because women tend to be very strong and dominant, and sometimes you just need to say, hey, look, it's okay to be helped as well. So with her, it was easy. We just laid her down, wrapped her up, and this session was good to go. This is a little different. This woman actually came in for a consultation, and she was carrying quite a bit of weight. She was having some problems with her sugar levels during her pregnancy and was carrying probably closer to 280 pounds, and that was nowhere near her normal weight. So she came in for the session, and her husband, by the way, I have to say, was the most adoring person. He's one of those rare husbands that just absolutely doted on her and loved her so much, and it was so breathtaking. But we're in a consultation, and she is telling me she didn't even want to be there. They had been to the hospital at a class, at one of the Lamaze classes. They had seen my work in the hospital, and he really wanted her to do a pregnant. He thought she was the most beautiful thing in the world, and as did I, but she did not feel that way. She felt she was many, many pounds over her normal weight, so she couldn't even see herself in herself. So as we sat through the consultation, and at this point I was doing the consultation, we sat through the consultation and discussed clothing options. And we talked about different fabrics and things, and I knew there was a weight issue, and we talked about dark being the best choice. I didn't talk about that with her, but in my head I was making decisions on what I would do. But I gave her some options for clothing. I said you can bring a dark top, but I had even asked her, do you want to expose your tummy or do you want to show no tummy? And she said, oh, no tummy, no exposure, nothing, I'll just keep my shirt on. So now I'm in my head going, okay, we're bringing black clothing on a black background, we're not gonna have a tummy, I mean, there's not gonna be there, but she also was carrying not round, she was very square, very heavy, and so I had my concerns, but I asked her to please bring several tops and we would try different things, and I promised her, I gave her my word that she was gonna look beautiful. Well, the day shows up for her session. She walks in with one long sleeve black shirt that, you know, like a tunic type shirt for pregnancy, and black pants. That's all she brought. She said, this is all I'm doing, this is all I wanna do. And I said, okay, no problem. And of course in my head I'm doing what we're all doing, which is, okay, she's gonna look better on black. You wanna eliminate the extra weight, because those were my options. Put her on black and fade her to dark, well, there goes the tummy. Put her on anything light, and all we're going to do is accentuate her weight. And so I was really not stressed, but you know, and certainly the client would know it, but in my head I'm going, how am I gonna make this work? So of course, I put her black on black, and I'm trying to get kicker lights and accent lights, and then I take her to a lighter background. As soon as I did that, I knew she wasn't gonna like it because she looked larger than I knew she would want to. And so I did, honestly, probably 13, maybe 14 images, and I stopped, and I turned to her and I said, you know, just to be very honest with you, I'm struggling here a little bit because of the dark clothing on the dark background. I'm, you know, very concerned. I know what your concerns are. I want to make sure you're happy, but I'm not getting what I really want. I'm not able to showcase that you're pregnant and that you're really in this really special time in your life, and I know your husband is dying to get something really magical. I said, would you consider a fabric wrap? And she looked at me and she said, no, absolutely not. And I said, okay. I said, I understand, but I want you to listen to me. I said, first of all, do you trust me? And she looked at me and kind of startled, and she said, what? And I said, do you trust me? I said, you've chosen my studio. You've chosen to work with me. There's a reason that you're here, but do you trust me? And she looked at me and she said, well, what does that mean? And I said, I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm not getting anything that I would want to present to you. I'm not getting the images that are going to take your breath away. And I truly believe I can do that. And she laughed. She said, nothing you can get with me is going to take my breath away. She said, you probably can make me throw up, but not take my breath away. And I said, I looked at her and I said, okay, well then this is the part where you need to trust me, because I know I can. And I'll tell you this. If you will trust me and you will allow me to wrap you in fabric, I will take my time and do it right. And I promise you, if I see these finished images before you see them, I will be the only one looking at them. And if I see them and they are not breathtaking, I give you my word, you will never see them. You will see the images that I've already created, and that's it. And so, of course, I wouldn't say prodding, but it took a little while. And finally she agreed, and she was super uncomfortable. So we first made a bra top, and then the difference between her and the other woman is she's actually in a bean bag. And the reason we use a bean bag with weight is, of course, a bean bag, you sort of sink into it. So naturally, when her body hit the bean bag, the bag itself kind of enveloped itself around her body. Now, after that, we took large amount of times taking fabric and tulle and fluffing it around her body. In fact, you can actually see, if you can see from here on her arm actually goes to there. It's quite heavy. However, we took time to take her hair, and the weight here in her arm, we put fabric over it, and we took, this is probably 1/3 of her stomach. And we took that fabric and wrapped it up. And I used shadow detail to try to sculpt and create. This is not one of those just squeeze her in and take the picture. It took me a lot of time to get this to happen. Her shoulder goes from here to here, but we've actually just eliminated it through fabric. So this is something that I knew consciously that I wasn't going to take a ton of images, but that I was working for a single image. Now, you might look at that, and I can find lots of flaws like the thumb here, and I mean, there's things that, you know, this is not a merit print. This is not a print that is going to go and win a prize. However, this is one of those experiences, another one that just is sort of a showstopper in my world, because when she came in for this session, when she came in for the sales session, we finished this up. This did take us quite a while. We finished it up. I promised her. I took several shots, a couple. She left, and they came in for the sales session. Now remember, I had about 13 images on black, and then I had this image here. I had a version of this, 2 versions of this, 2 different tonalities of this. They came in for the slideshow. We didn't even really have enough images to do a real slideshow put to music. We just put music on and let them slowly dissolve in and out. The first image is on black. I could literally feel her cringing, going, oh, you know, like I could just hear these little noises coming out of her, and I was just like, wait for it, wait for it. This image comes up, and it was on a slow dissolve. It literally comes up and it holds, and her husband goes, oh my gosh. And he tears up, and he just starts to cry. And she literally turns to him, and she goes, that's not me. And I looked at her, I said, that is you. And she kept saying, did you Photoshop me? What did you do? Did you Photoshop me? She kept saying that over and over, and she had tears, and he had tears. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, emotionally for me, it was this big, like, hurrah, like I knew I had done it, because it was a risk. I mean, when you're pushing somebody and saying to trust you, you better know what you're doing. Because if you fail, obviously you're really going to hurt somebody. So you want to be confident that you can do this. But when you get to that point in your career where you can do that, where you can push a little bit and get what you want and take somebody's breath away, it makes it worth it. Now, out of the 14 images they saw, this is the only one they bought. It's also, they bought it as a large wall portrait. Now, she would have never seen herself this way. She could have never imagined that she could be so beautiful. And again, it's not as stunning as the one I showed you before with the perfect woman, with the perfect body, with the perfect arms. But to me, it is the more perfect image, because it has literally my soul in it. And so let's move on, because I can't take it anymore. Popular poses. These are just a few. Getting the tummy shot, that's, the tummy with siblings is just a must-have. There's certain things that in any type of photography we're going to do, we're always going to do. Siblings are important. Finding ways to showcase the new baby with the sibling is always the challenge. It doesn't have to be like full-on tummy uncomfortable. I mean, you can see this is just a little peekaboo top. You wouldn't necessarily even know she was pregnant, but it just kind of gives you that, hey, there's a new baby coming along. There's also you know, sculpting the body. We talked about using those kicker lights, those stronger, more narrow light sources, so that we can eliminate the weight on the body is also very important. There's all kinds of different poses that are popular. This is, again, one of those little bolero tops that we bought that was long sleeve. So this is another fun way to just capture, you know, kind of the emotion and the spirit of the whole thing using window light there. Now we have all kinds of sessions that we do. I'm going to show you a little video of just some studio sessions, because I want you to look. This is natural light and studio light, and it'll kind of give you a feel for what I would consider a studio session.
Tell you, life isn't just what you think. It's full of puzzles, still just a puzzle to me. And every time you think you're ahead, it's not what it seems. Life tends to happen while you're still making your plans. So dare to dream big, 'cause it's worth taking a chance. And when tomorrow comes, you will know you gave everything. So just do what you love and love what you do.
All right, so that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of studio. And you can see every image is unique. Every image had a different background, a different color, a different tonality. Every image is personal. Now, when it comes to location work, a little different. If you don't have a studio light, you certainly can go out on location. This is something that, I mean, my goal is usually to create 3 or 4 unique looks, and typically on location it's clothing changes. So there's everything from covered, you know, different poses. We like to go downtown into the city and do kind of an urban eclectic look. You can find all kinds of spaces where you can have some fun and just, you know, let mom be mom. This is the second outfit. A little more business, but again, she's still covered. Here's another outfit, just playing around, having some fun, using colors and color palettes to capture the attention. And then, of course, the final outfit, just very natural, having fun. And again, these are all, I mean, you can see 80% of the shot, she's got her hand on her belly, because we're constantly trying to tell people, I'm pregnant. This is, you know, there's a baby in there. So it's just finding that look, that feel, something that's going to make it magical. Now, when you, and then of course, we call this the trailer trash look, you know, out in the backyard with the, we love to do like the street scene and all the, you know, the stop signs and the poles, and just kind of make it, you know, look a little less, a little more rugged, I think is the way we like to go. Now, in order to get the shot, you have to sort of get in there. You saw me today. I literally can go down on my back and up in a 30th of a second, and I move really, really fast. You have to make and create those different angles. So I'm going to show you a quick little video to finish this series and kind of show you what it takes on location. The first one, I'm outside, and you'll see I'll literally lay in mud, dirt, ants, doesn't matter, to get that unique look. And the second part of this video, I'm actually inside the home, and you'll see it's natural light and a reflector, and I believe a Q flash. So let's take a look.
Okay, right there, that's beautiful. I love that. Okay, let's put your hands on your belly. The front, your hand goes low, and now pull it way back so we open up your elbow a little bit. Right there, beautiful. Okay, got it right there. Eyes here. Beautiful, nose down a little bit more. Now nose smile. Thank you. Okay, look back, nose smile, nose back towards that light a whole lot, even more, and nose down. There it is. Great lean right there. Yeah, that was it, but I didn't get it on the other. That is amazing. Now let's get that flowy arms back again, looking up. Nose back up that way. Oh my gosh. Good, right there. Now nose smile, breathing through your mouth. Beautiful. Now tuck your nose down and close your eyes. That is gorgeous, wow. One more. Hang on. Nope, you're okay. Beautiful, I love that with your eyes open, but let me find my focus. Sorry guys, right there. Beautiful right there. And one more.
All right, so you can see, we do whatever it takes to sacrifice to get that shot. You're gonna get dirty, you're gonna get down. I mean, if you just stand there and take pictures, everything is gonna look exactly the same. Also, we like to do location in the hospital. We like to actually go out. It's a personal choice. Your client has to want it. Certainly have to respect their privacy, and you have to have a conversation of what their comfort zone is. I have had clients that want everything photographed. They want to see the crowning of the head. They want it all. Not my favorite. Certainly not my assistant's favorite. If they haven't had kids, I can lose assistants very quick. But, I also have clients who say, stay up at the top. We just kind of want to have the emotion of the room. We don't want to see anything that I couldn't show my grandma, and that's cool too. So you have to know very clearly what they want, because sometimes in the heat of the moment, they'll change their mind and either say, never mind, I don't want that, or go get it, you know, and you're like, are you sure you're sure? Or are you just in a lot of pain right now? Or what do you really want? So have that conversation beforehand. Say, you know what you feel here, you may not feel there. If you tell me here you want me to get everything, and then at that point you realize you don't want that, just tell me. And whatever you tell me at that point, I'm going to do that. So make sure that you're coherent enough that you want me to do that. You do have to be a silent part of the moment. This is their special moment. You are not to speak or, you know, be obtrusive or say or do things, move things around. I mean, they're having their baby. So in order for you to be a part of that, even if they're a very good client, you feel very close to them, I still think there's the point where you have to give them their time. We do lots of sessions. I mean, everything from, you know, showing the emotion and the pain of the session, the process of everything. Again, some clients, it's all the details. I mean, if you're with somebody having a baby for 7 to 12 hours, you kind of run out of things to shoot, you know? And so we're looking around, but just the little pieces, the things, the hands, the cropping, really and truly the emotion is what we're looking for. And there is a value on that much time. And later we can talk about pricing and what would this cost, because if I'm going to a hospital with an unknown, she's going to have a baby sometime, I need to know how long that's going to be. If it's going to be, you know, a 12-hour session, I need to be prepared for that. My family does, and they financially need to have compensated me before I left, because I'm not going to go down there saying it's a $300 session and 12 hours later realize this is a $3,500 session, because you're not going to, it's hard to collect money when they look like that. It hurt, you know, it's painful. But obviously going through, capturing the moments from whatever end they want you to capture it from is important. Being there for that first cry is just breathtaking. It literally takes your breath away. So it's an amazing opportunity. We also get a chance in life many times to do special sessions. This was an incredible story of a woman who, because she became pregnant, and the test that they do for pregnancy found out that she did in fact have breast cancer, she decided to carry the baby, which everybody recommended to her, that every doctor, medical doctor recommended that she did not, because she did have to go through chemo through the first part of her pregnancy. What an incredible woman, and what an incredible story. It was just such an amazing opportunity to know that you're with somebody who is literally taking the risk of sacrificing their life to save another. So these kind of things, of course, are very emotional for me, but very empowering as well. She hated her wigs, and so she hated the hats and the wigs, but she also, didn't love being bald. So that we were just kind of showcasing the trauma of that. But she was more than willing to do anything, and we found lots of cool, creative ways to really showcase. She had a beautiful body. She was actually a cheerleader for a professional football organization. So it was really a lot of fun to work with her. But it was really incredible to go through the experience with her and to actually be there with the baby and to see the baby and to realize what an incredible sacrifice that really was. So there's some amazing sessions that happen in the world, and it's certainly an honor to showcase them. And part of this, having gone through surgery, mastectomy, and going through the rebuilding process. She had just finished her surgery, so she was feeling pretty proud of the girls, and was definitely ready to show them off as well.